Hey folks, my name is Chad with Airstream of Greensboro. I am a salesperson here. This is the all-new 2026 Airstream Interstate 19 GT, one of Airstream's most popular touring coaches. It's redesigned for the 26 model year. Let's jump into everything that makes this awesome now. All right, we're gonna jump into a walk around of this 26. I love the new front grille. I'm gonna talk all about that here in a second. But I did wanna mention, part of Blue Compass. I'm here at Airstream of Greensboro. This is my home store. We are part of the Blue Compass network of dealerships. We have 14 Airstream stores that we own. We are all across the country as far as Maine, all the way down to Florida, and we pretty much cover the whole East Coast. And then we're also out in Texas, New Mexico, California. So if you're in the market for an Airstream, a touring coach or a travel trailer, I can be your guy. You can come here to Greensboro, or you could go to one of those stores and I can work with them as well. So just give me a call. My contact information is down there in the description. Now let me flip you around because we're going to do a walk around of this new 26 right now. So the talk of the town with the new 2026 model year for Airstream touring coaches is going to be this front grille. And my understanding is, at least for now, Airstream is going to be one of the only, if not the only, touring coach manufacturer that is going to get this incredible looking front grille and bumper setup of the Mercedes. So let me get you a little bit closer. Much larger, which is the theme right now with all front grills on vehicles, is to have just a massive intake area. And you are going to get that now with the touring coach. Still has the step location right here, so you can step up and check the engine out or clean the windshield. But I just think this looks phenomenal. Like, it is truly, it feels more like a Mercedes now, I guess is what I'm going to say. That's what it feels like to me. I like it. They do still add their ground effects here at the bottom all the way around. That's something that Airstream does to kind of give it, I guess, a more pleasing ride or look to the vehicle. Now this has a 360-degree camera setup, so there is a camera that's integrated right there. This also being the newer chassis. I think this is a 2025 chassis. You're going to see a little bit difference in the windshield. All of the cameras and stuff and sensors that did the adaptive cruise control and lane keep and all that stuff used to all be up here in the top. So it took up more of that space there, a little bit of visibility. They've moved those cameras down to the bottom, and I think you are going to see a little bit better visibility when it comes to driving the interstate. They also changed a few things as far as the lettering and the Airstream logos and stuff like that. I actually saw one of our 26s, and I'll put up a photo of it so you can see it, but it says Airstream across the hood here, and I'm not sure why this doesn't, and that's going to be something with the 19s that they won't say that, but the 24s will, like 24 foot, so the 19 foot won't, the 24 foot will, or what, but that is something I did notice, and I'll show you that. I'm not sure about that, but you do still have the Airstream name right here. Also, standard now for the Airstream touring coaches is going to be all-wheel drive. That is now standard. It used to be an option, so in that MSRP, you're getting four-wheel drive. Of course, you do have the powered awning that will go in and out. That's a Girard awning. It has, they call it armless, but it still has arms. They just fold in. Instead of going against the side of the coach, they're going to be right there. And we also have a step there that will come out to make it a little bit easier to get into the coach. I mentioned the 360-degree cameras on the 19-foot. That's one of the things that people really like. And here's one camera there. And these are different. I think they are a newer camera. The inside picture is significantly better than what we've seen in the past, and I will show you that here in a second. So make sure you hang out. Now, as far as the door goes, it is a power door. One of the things that Airstream does that I'm a fan of, when it comes to selecting their chassis and building their chassis out, there's a list of options that they can pick from Mercedes. So you can order this to be an Amazon van, or you can order it to be a touring coach, and anything in between. So you have no guarantee that you're going to get all of the features that you get from Mercedes when you're buying a touring coach, unless it's an Airstream touring coach. And in that case, you get every option that is available. So if it's an option available, you're going to get it. And one of those options is the power door. That's not a guarantee when you're buying a touring coach. One of the things I do like to point out, we have a really nice sliding screen door right there. And that's something that Airstream actually builds themselves. A lot of stuff, you know, they do buy it and then, you know, install it, but the screen door, Airstream builds that. Now, this one is not built by Airstream. You can see the brand name right there. But I do like this style door being right here where you can easily pass a drink out. Maybe you're doing a soccer game or softball or something like that. You want to be able to pass drinks out. You can do that. I like that. And I do like this screen door as well. Now, one thing I do want to point out, if you have pets, this is not a screen door, pet friendly screen door. They could easily get through this if they tried and destroy this door. So if you have pets, you may end up not using that at all just because of that, if that's the case. Now, you do get a stainless steel covered chrome looking exhaust there. Not going to touch that because it's probably hot. And there is some chrome accents that run the length of the Airstream, and that's something that Airstream does add. And then you'll see the Interstate emblem here with all-wheel drive. That is standard now. It's not four-wheel drive anymore. It's all-wheel drive. It's always active. You don't have to think about it. You do have lights both in this part of the awning setup. You also have lights going down the end there, and you can't see it because it's daylight out, but there are ground effect lights as well that shoot down onto the ground. Let me show you what's under these painted doors to match the paint. So that's going to be the new RJ45 to connect Starlink is right there. And then you've got your 110 outlets to plug things in out here. You also have solar. You can actually connect solar panels to both sides. This is new for 2026. There's an RJ45 connector that will go to the inside, allow you to easily connect Starlink outside if you want to do that. I'll show you where that's going to end up on the inside once we get inside. Now, moving around to the back, you are going to have a tow hitch right behind that cover. You can tow 5,000 pounds with this vehicle. You also have your backup camera right there. And then otherwise, it's a Mercedes. Let me open this door so you can see some changes on the inside. Now, one of the all new things for the 2026 model year is going to be the power system. So make sure you hang out for that. I'll try to make chapters in the bottom so you can skip around to what you want to see and hear. But there is a whole new power system inside for 2026 model year, and it's now standard. It's no longer an option. Now, back here, you're going to have this cool little, I mean, it's just a cover that helps to cover the things that are there. It's Velcro, so you can easily take this off if you wanted to and just not have it. Something new for 2026 is going to be this kind of built out storage area here. We now have a door to cover the things that you put underneath your seat. Now notice this space right here, because there is an option to lose this space with more batteries, and I'll talk about that once we get inside. But that is where those batteries would go, is underneath here, and you would lose that space. But as of now, you have this for storage. This side is going to be part of your new power system. I think there's also a subwoofer right there. And then this side is your new 3,000 watt inverter from Xantrex. I'll talk more about that once we get inside. And there's a little vent there to kind of, you know, get some airflow in that area. But that's your under the sofa area, and we've got these nice positive locks now, which looks nice, very nice. We pull this down. There also is both a bug screen that will come all the way down. That's what this track is right here. So that will come all the way down. And there is a nighttime shade that will also come down to block people being able to see, as well as light getting in. I love the bug screen, so you can have these doors open when you're camping, and especially if it's like it's not too hot out. It's like a nice day, and you just have a nice breeze going. Yeah. So now we're on the business side of this touring coach. You either grab the keys on the inside here in a second. But before I get in there, I want to point out a few things. This window here is replaced by Airstream, so it can open. So these two bottom windows sections here will open. That front window is a original Mercedes window, as well as the rear windows. We'll walk back around to this side. Just look at windows. No windows open on this side. So if that's important to you to be able to open windows, just note which ones do open. You do have a max fan vent there, so you can get some good air flowing through there. When you are camping, of course, you can open the back door and the side door to have those bug screens in place. Now the Mercedes wheels are the standard wheels. They come from Mercedes. There's not currently an option for Airstream to upgrade those, but of course you could probably do something aftermarket if you wanted to. Now, let me show you a couple of things, and I'm going to grab the keys so I can open the compartments. We've got our city fill right here. It does have the pressure regulator built in. We do now have the nice cast aluminum smart plug. It is going to be 30 amp, so your 30 amp plug is right there. This also comes with the smart plug that comes out to a 15 amp end on it. It's a short little like 1 foot cable. But that's like a $200 cable if you were to buy that yourself. And then that other solar port is right there. And you can connect a 100-watt solar panel to each of those. So you could add 200 additional watts of solar using those ports there. Let me grab the keys. Well, before I do that, I can show you this door, because that's not locked. So this is going to be your outside shower. It's got the cool little stretchy accordion style hose that connects into there with a spray nozzle on it. You do have hot and cold water out here, and they did paint that to body match the color of the body. Let me grab the key. It's right here. Right there is the key. And I just want to get this so that I can show you these inside these doors. So this one, you're going to have your controls for your macerator pump. You do have a macerator system on this. We're going to have your remote valves here, so you can open and close your black and gray tank. We also have a powered reel in there for the sewer hose. You've got your cable inlet. You got your waste pump system, and then there's the outside light right there. But down here, we're going to have our macerator pump. Right there. So inside of this area, you've got your pump that pulls out, and it's a small, like little 1 inch hose. You also have an on-off right there, so you can turn that off when you're finished. And there is a black tank flush that is right there. But when you're finished with this, you can just use the power reel to run that back in, which is super nice. Obviously, you want to kind of have control of it as you're doing it, but you know, it's a touring coach. You got to have a powered reel, and you got to have a macerator pump. And that's what you get with the Airstream Touring Coach. And moving up to the door, we do still have the little fuel fill right there. So you can open that, shut the door, fill it with diesel. When you're finished, you can open that, and then when it is closed, it's locked behind this door. So that's a nice little feature that we have. And while we're in here, I'm going to pop the hood while we're in this area. Let me get the hood open. Should not be too hard. Oh, a heavy door. Now, an option that Airstream has not developed yet. I'm going to set the camera down for a second. There we go. Camera down, back up. Let me get the camera right. So something that Mercedes has not come up with is a shock, thing to hold that up, which I feel like a touring coach should have that. It's just that Airstream hasn't offered it. I mean, Mercedes has not offered it to Airstream as an option, so we still have this old school deal here to hold that up. That is easy to bend. If you try to close this door, it will mess things up. If you close that hood with that in place, it will mess that hood up. So make sure you know to move that before you try to shut the door. Now, the reason I wanted to pop up here is, one, to give you a shot of the new-ish, it's been out for a few years now, 4-cylinder from Mercedes. It is a twin turbocharged 4-cylinder. It replaced the outgoing V6 that Mercedes had used for years. What I will say about this, you've got a little bit of improvement on the horsepower, you got a little bit of improvement on the torque, but what I found is the low-end torque on this engine at the lower speed, the lower RPM, is much improved over the outgoing V6, and it doesn't taper off because you have that second turbocharger to kind of continue your torque band or whatever. But those turbochargers are right there, easy to get to for servicing. The whole engine is decently easy to get to. You get your breather box right there. We've got I think that is the coolant for the radiator. Oil fills right there. Windshield washer fluid is here. Brakes are right there. And then this, because it's a diesel engine, does have DEF, and that is right there. So not a bad setup, I think, for the Mercedes. So let's go inside. I'm gonna get the air conditioner on because it is hot outside today. It is August, well, almost August. It's actually July here in North Carolina, and I'm on fire. So let's get inside and do the inside now. All right, let's move inside. Again, power doors. You just pull that handle there and it will open itself, and we can move right on into your 19-foot Airstream Interstate 19 GT touring coach. Now this is a small vehicle, so it's going to be a little difficult to put on camera, but I'll do my best. This is going to be your living space here. Now it does come with some pillows and things like that. There's the pillows that go with it. You also have your floor mats are right here. Now with the 19-foot, these two arm walls, as Airstream calls them, are not for sitting in motion. You can sit there, you know, that one you can sit. You can't sit there. You can sit here if you wanted to when it's parked. Now the sofa actually has seat belts for 3, so you can fit 3 back there. So this would be a 5-seater, I guess is what you would call it. If you were entertaining, someone could sit here fairly comfortably. There's a little bit of a backrest here, but you can obviously also have 3 people sitting here. I think most of the time you're going to see 2 people sitting in this area. Put your feet up there. This is fairly comfortable. One thing I've said this for 3 years now. I think I've been making videos of Airstreams for 3 years. I'm pretty sure I have a 2023 Interstate 19 video and now a 2026 19 Interstate video. And in every video, the one thing I've said is there needs to be a switch right here to allow you to recline the sofa when you're sitting here, at least on one side. Not both, but at least one side. The switch to recline this is actually way up here. And it's even further on the GT, like the 24 GT, you got to go like all the way up past the kitchen to get to that. But I can recline this a little bit if I want to by doing that and make it an even more comfortable spot to chill right here. But I think this is the reason, one of the things that people like to buy the 19 GT for is this nice little lounge area. Now this will fold down into a bed, and I'll show you that here in a second. You also have the TV right here. One of my fondest memories of being in the RV industry is traveling up to Indiana for an RV show with my cousin in a touring coach, and we sat back here and played Xbox, I think, or PlayStation the whole way up there, and my uncle was driving the whole way. But this is a cool spot to be able to hang out. It's also very comfortable if you want to just hang out. You're doing a trip and you just want to kind of hang out and you have a place to hang out. Very comfortable to do that. And of course, it's also will make it into a bed, and I'll do that right now for you. Let me flip the camera back around. So to put it into a sleeping space, we're going to lay the sofa all the way down flat. Well, that's as far as I can go because I put stuff back there. And then we'll use the switches to bring the ottomans to the middle. So you can bring these all the way to the middle if you want to and have them touch. I like to leave them partially out like this because then you can actually use this as almost like a partial twin bed to be able to get in here and lay down. So I can easily lay down, right? And then if I need to get up to go to the restroom, I've got this nice little space to be able to get up and go to the restroom at night. But that's basically how you turn it into a sleeping space if you want to do that. I think with touring coaches, let me put this back up in place. Most of your touring coach buyers, there's kind of 2 touring coach buyers, I'll say. You have your buyer that is looking for a very comfortable vehicle to be able to drive from place to place. Like they're going to go and camp in the Florida Keys, or you know, they're driving, they want to do like cross-country road trips, but they're going to stay in hotels and resorts and things like that, not necessarily go camping. And that's this vehicle. This is more of a touring coach. You also have camper vans that are more designed around camping in them, which you can do that with a touring coach. You can absolutely go camping in this, and people are doing that. But this also feels a little bit more like a touring coach, where the 19X feels a little bit more like a camper van. So let me just kind of give you a quick walkthrough of the inside, and then I want to talk about the main changes for 2026. Let me flip this around. So kind of coming around to the front, We do have a little bit of storage up here. We've got the radio for camping, a little bit more storage area right there. We'll get the whole dash here in a second. In your kitchen area, we're going to have a corrugated countertop. You have a nice small sink, but a sink nonetheless. We also have a residential style faucet, of course hot and cold water. You do have a touch screen here to be able to control all of your settings and everything that the Firefly gives you. And for 2026 model year, we have the most recent software for the Firefly system, including Bluetooth connectivity, so you can connect that to that with an app on your cell phone. In this area, we're going to have a drawer that pulls out. You do have your silverware organizer that comes with it, a little bit of storage right there. These are positive locks now, so when you lock it, there's actually a little deal that comes up and locks them in place. We've got the massive oversized hinges holding these doors. Just look how huge that hinge is. It's comical, but that's Airstream for you. It does come with a little trash can. You get that included. Will be like the most expensive Rubbermaid trash can that you've ever purchased. And of course, we do have storage right there in that area. These are going to close, and then this will be another pull out right there as well. And all of these will lock in place. Opposing the kitchenette, we're going to have a small Norcold 12-volt refrigerator. The bottom part is going to be a refrigerator. You got two shelves that you get. And then up here you will have a comically small freezer. I mean, maybe you could fit ice in there. That is very small. It will fit a couple of Hot Pockets. But if you need a freezer, you have that space, and the refrigerator is right there. Underneath that, we're going to have a nice pull-out pantry. And if you're wondering, wine bottles do fit right there on that bottom shelf. We have a nice little pantry right there. And then beside the refrigerator, we're going to have a storage closet that can be a hanging wardrobe if you need it to be. There's a hanging bar there. These shelves can come out. They are adjustable. Or you could just use this as shelving right there, which I think most people are going to use. But hey, if you're using this as a business vehicle, then you got to have a place to hang your suits, and that would be your spot to do that. And then we do have a microwave. It is not a convection oven. It's just a microwave. As far as the touring coach goes, there is no there's no oven. There is a true induction cooktop here that's not removable like it is on the Rangeline or the new Basecamp XE. That's one thing I think Airstream should change. We should be able to take this out the way that we can in the XE and then use it outside. That would be cool, but we can't do that. And then we're gonna have our wet bath. This is a touring coach, so it is gonna be a wet bath. You have lights. You also have a max vent, exhaust vent right there. And then we do have a little sink in the shower. And it's a wet bath, so you're gonna have your commode right there, so you can knock all of the three S's, out all at one time. We do have a mirror right there, and then the shower head. The shower head is also your sink right there. It's just gonna go like that, and then that would be for your shower. Let me step in here for you so you can see the sizing of it. Now it is a decent space. Like for a shower in an Airstream, it's actually not that bad. I'm on the fluffy side of life. There's plenty of room for me to take a shower. I could sit down if I needed to. If I'm really tall, you can sit on the commode with it shut. There is a waterproof toilet paper holder right there, so you can keep your toilet paper in here, not have to worry about that. And then we do have a furnace inlet here for the Truma Combi. This does have a Truma Combi water heater on it. There is a little towel rack right there. I think that's pretty much everything for the shower. Now moving to the back, I've already kind of showed you the situation with the sofas here. Now we do have a connection here for the Laguna table that will go in there, and that Laguna table is stored right behind the driver's seat right there, so you can pull that out, and then that can connect right there, and you have a little workspace or a little space to eat, maybe enjoy a cheese and grape tray. All of your shades in here are going to be powered on all of your windows. You can just come up to your touchscreen, go to shades, and they actually master close all of the shades, which is pretty high end. Like feels like a big diesel motorhome. Even the sliding door is powered, and then powered. Those are all shut. These are shut, so you have a nice enclosed space. And then in the morning, you can just hit that one button and bring them all up. Now you can control each individual one. So if you just want one to come down, maybe you're watching TV and your son's coming in that side, you could do that. Now, one thing I do like about these windows, like that window right there is massive. And if you had a view much better than the current view I have right now of our store, it's actually Sunday and I'm out here making videos for you guys. I mean, I love that. For a 19 foot to have a window that big and just be able to capture some incredible views while you're inside enjoying your 19 foot interstate. Yeah, I could do that. I could see that. Now, up above, we are going to have a little bit of storage in this area. This is also where the other end of that RJ45 pre-wire comes in. So it comes in right here. We do have power, so you could easily put your Starlink equipment right here and then have Starlink access to the internet. There is a very small storage area here. It almost feels like a old school media entertainment storage area. You see it's about my hand deep going back there. But that is a little storage area. And then we have another storage area opposing the other main one right here. No other connections in this area here. Now let's talk about kind of our control center here. Now it has the Truma combi system that's going to have 2.5 gallons of water capacity for heating water. So you'll want to turn that on first. This isn't instant hot. This is going to be a 2.5 gallon system. So you want that to turn it on, let it heat that water up, and then you'll have hot water. Now it's also your furnace. So when you're creating heat for your furnace, you're also going to be creating hot water because it's kind of the same system. But that's the control for it. This is going to be your Firefly control. On that menu, you've got kind of your main menu. It's going to give you your battery state of charge, your chassis. You can turn your tank heaters on. You can turn your water pump on. You also are able to see your tank levels right there. The buzzer just let me know that step is extended. And I've got the engine on. You can turn your lights on and off. There's a master. There's also a cinema mode, and that will just dim everything for you. Put the awning in and out. You can raise up the rear bug screen right there. This is going to give you access to all of your different lights. AC unit is right there. Don't have that on right now because it's loud. And that was the night screens that you can put up and down. And then when you get into this screen here, this is where you're going to go for your mobile apps. You'll download the app there, and you've got your codes. You'll reset your PIN. You'll put your own PIN in there, so you don't have to worry about people seeing this particular one and hacking it. They'll put their own PIN in. But that's how you get to the mobile app there. Now this does have a power control system. This system here is going to manage power consumption. So when we're on the inverter, it's not going to let the inverter get overloaded, as well as your 30 amp circuit when you're connected to 30 amp. And then this is your Xantrex Freedom X control panel here as well. And there's an app that you can connect to this as Bluetooth, and I'll show you that in a second. Now that leads me into, battery heaters right here. So to turn your battery heater on to your Battleborn batteries, that's where you would do that at. I'm not sure why they're using a key. On the trade ones, they just use a switch, but for some reason, a touring coach likes to be different. Now that leads me to the next thing, and that's going to be the power system. It's a big change. Man, look at that view. Like that. That's a reason to buy a 19. For sure. Of course, the ease of driving it. Basically, it feels like a small van. Okay, so a big change for Airstream's touring coach this year is the E1 package. If you've been on the internet at all, you will see some positive reviews for the E1, and you will see a lot of not so positive views for the E1 package. The E1 package for Airstream was a Volta system. So they basically contracted Volta to build this power system for them. It's a 48 volt system, so it had to have, from my understanding, it's a 48 volt system. So I had to do some conversion to work with the 12 volt system in Airstream's lineup. We just had a lot of mishaps with it early on. Now, I do feel like there was a point when Airstream did a decent service bulletin on it, and we resolved a lot of the issues that folks were having with the E1 package. And I wouldn't be afraid to buy an E1 package now you know, if there's a 2025 out there that has E1 and you're getting a really good deal on it, buy it, because it's a good system. Airstream is going to warranty all of that equipment, so you don't have to worry about that either. They're warrantying it themselves. But they did make a change for 2026 model year, and the E1 package is no longer an option. But on the plus side, we now have more standard equipment for the touring coach. So the E1's gone. Now we're going to have basically a Airstream built power system, and it's fairly simple. That's what I would call it. I would call this a move towards simplicity for Airstream. So underneath, and I'll show you some B-roll of the battery pack, is a custom case from Airstream with 3 GC3 batteries inside of it, and I'll show you what the GC3 battery looks like. But there's 3 of those stacked tall inside of that. So you're going to have 10,300 kilowatt hours of stored energy in those 3 battle-borne batteries. Now, the thing about battle-borne batteries, they are tested and they are tried and true, and they are very popular in the van build community. People love to use battle-borne because they're a good battery. They have really good tech support. They have really good warranty. Everything that you'd want in a battery company, that's battle-borne. They're also American made as well. So that's a plus for the battle-borne as well. So 810 amp hours of lithium battery, that is now standard on all touring coaches. So that's part of the advanced power package that is included standard with all touring coaches. You're also going to get a new to Airstream Victron MPPT solar charge controller that has the Bluetooth module connected to it, so you're able to see what's going on with that solar charge controller. And there is a new smart shunt from Victron connected to the batteries as well. Basically what it's doing is connected to the negative post of your battery bank. It's measuring all of the electrons going through the battery power system, and it gives you an estimated state of charge. I'm going to talk a little bit about Airstream's choice for using the Victron equipment. So this is basically my first 2026 model video, so I'll be a little bit more detailed on it. State of charge on lithium batteries is basically 100%, but really 90%, because you don't want to fully discharge them below 10 volts. They'll cut off. The battery BMS will lock you out. So you got the Victron MPPT charge controller with Bluetooth. You also have a smart shunt, so you can use the Victron Connect app to see everything going on. And Airstream did not choose to use the Victron Multiplus 2 inverter, 3000 watt inverter that is used on the Tradewinds in the Basecamp XE with the cool touchscreen. Instead, they chose to use a Xantrex 3000 watt inverter, basically upgrade to what was already here. And chargers, is inverter charger, similar to the Multiplus, with the Bluetooth app. So you are able to see what's happening with the inverter and control it to an extent. And then there's also an ARCO marine alternator that runs 20% cooler for better performance on the engine. And then you have a Zeus regulator that optimizes battery charging. Now, my understanding is this setup for your basically DC to DC charging will charge the batteries at idle. It's not recommended, because it's not recommended to idle diesel engines anymore now with the DEF stuff. But if you're idling, this system is going to be charging the batteries, whereas the old DC to DC charge controller in the E1 package did not do that. So that is something you could do. But when you're driving down the road, it is going to be charging the batteries. It says Zeus regulator is what they call it. That's going to be new. Now there is an option to do the Advanced Power Plus package. Now the Advanced Power Plus package does just one thing. It adds 2 more batteries to your battle-borne setup. So you go from 3 battle-borne batteries to 5 GC3 game changer batteries. So you're going to go from 10,300 kilowatt hours to 17,200 kilowatt hours of storage space. Now on the 19 GT Interstate, that is a dealer installed option. We would install it under this the seat here, is my understanding, or it'll be over there. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to be installed. I think back here, but it might go there, depending on where space is. But that's a dealer installed option. On the 24 GT and the 24 GL, that is a option we can do from the factory but I also think that it can also just be a dealer installed option. So if it doesn't have it from the factory and you want to have that installed, we can install the extra 2 battle-borne batteries for you. I'm not sure what the cost is on that. You'll just have to call me to find out if you're interested in getting one of these. The battery locations are going to vary based on the model, but the standard 3 battle-bornes are going to go in place of where the generator would normally be, which on the 19 is about right here. Again, I'll show you a B-roll of that. Nice box. It looks very similar to the E1 package battery box, but it's not the E1. It's 3 battle-borne batteries in there. And then specifically on the 19 and the 19X, you have 250 watts of solar up top. No more LP. There's no more propane available on the touring coach line at all now. It's all electric. There will be some Atlases, a very small number of Atlases that will be, it's a limited run that will be LP units, but once those are gone, they'll all be standard advanced power and then the optional advanced power plus. I feel like a lot of your stores, a lot of your dealerships are going to stock the 24-foot versions, the 24 GL and GT, and the Atlas, they're going to stock with the 5 GC3 battle-borne batteries, so the advanced plus. But the standard is going to be the advanced power that will have 810 amp hours of lithium batteries. But if you want to, you can do the advanced power plus and have 1350 amp hours of lithium batteries. That is insane. That's an insane amount of power. You know, the 3 batteries would run an air conditioner for like 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours. So you're talking 5? That's like, I mean, that's almost endless power, especially with a, you know, generator thing that you can charge while idling. So that's the big upgrade. Okay, so let's talk apps. Now, one of the downsides to this system is well, you need like 3 apps to fully control the new Interstate for the 2026 model year. Now, the first one is going to be the Xantrex app. What's it trying to tell me? Okay, here we go. So this is the Xantrex app. Everything's turning back on as I turn the inverter off for a second. So it's currently on, and we are inverting power. So we're creating 3,000 watts of power, which is it looks like it's a 25 amp max. So we're currently pulling 4% of power. It looks like there's not really much going on because I don't have anything turned on currently. I'll turn something on here in a second. And then you're going to have your battery state of charge just showing 100% at 13.6. There's no amps going in or out. Now, if you plug it in, the grid will actually light up green, so you know you have grid power coming in as well. You also have, I guess if you go to device page, it's going to show you all the different devices that I guess you can have multiple devices connected to this app. If there are any alerts, you would see that on the alerts page. Thankfully, there's no alerts right now. And then settings, I'm going to say, for the most part, stay off of this page. Don't do anything with this. But it has all of the different things, parameters and things that you would need to know, I guess, to set up the inverter. This is how you set the inverter up. So it's all set up from Airstream. They set all this up, so just let it be. Leave it where it's at. Really, the only thing you want to do with this app is to look at the status of your inverter. So let me turn the air conditioner on. So we should see something happen with the load side on this app. Yeah, all right, so now you see the load is in green because we're pulling something out of the load. We're pulling 1,000 watts. Airstream has not yet chose to use like a Truma 12 volt air conditioner, which you should do that, Airstream. Use like a 12 volt air conditioner because it'd be more efficient. So it's a 110, it's a Coleman Mach Q 13.5 air conditioner. It is not ducted, so it's on the loud side. Even the Furrion 18K would work really well too. But anyway, so we're pulling, I guess 35% is what that's telling us, 35% out of the battery. We're pulling 1,000 watts out of the battery. And then you can see we're pulling 91 amps from the battery. Now this also has a smart shunt, as I recommended. And the way you're gonna get, or as I mentioned, the way that you're going to get to the smart shunt is through the Victron Connect app. So let me bring that up. So the Victron Connect app is another app that connects through Bluetooth. I've already connected to the shunt on this unit, so I can open that up. So this will be the shunt, and we can label this So a lot of times at our store, we'll label the shunt and like the solar charge controller and stuff. We'll put your last name on it, so it's easier to find when you're camping and there's shunts all over the place. So we're gonna see right now 100% state of charge. It's showing us that. It's also showing the current that's being drawn out of the battery. So we're pulling 56 amps out of the battery. We're actually charging the battery. I guess it's because I got the engine running. So we're only consuming 2 amps out of the battery right now. And then it should calculate over time. It will give you a time remaining. I guess with the engine running, it's not doing that for me, but that's where that would be. There's also settings in here as well that would need to be set up, but you're going to want to leave these alone. Let the settings be, and it will do what it needs to. And then you also have a solar charge controller, which I'm going to say is probably this one. Yep. All right. So now we're able to see not much solar happening right now. But it would show you what's happening with your solar, how much you're pulling, all that kind of stuff. Oh, so yeah, so 27 volts. So it's probably 225 watt panels up there to get the 250. We'll see that in a second. I'm going to get the drone out and show you that. But it's in float charge mode. Voltage is 13.8, and there is an update that I can do to it as well. So that's the solar charge controller. And you can see both of those on one page if you want to see that, and you can see all the shunts that are around me right now. There's shunts all over the place where I'm at the store, like everywhere. There's 100 shunts out there, and that's why it's nice to label yours with your name so you know which one's yours. And definitely change the password. But you can easily see your voltage, you can see your state of charge, you can see what's happening with the inverter itself, or with your amperage. That's cool. I'm going to turn the engine off because I want to see what it looks like with the engine off. Okay, so now the engine is off, and yeah, so now we're pulling power out of the battery. We're pulling 31 amps out. So that what was it called? Zeus charger that's on there was putting 80 amps into the battery. That's pretty impressive. That's a lot of energy going into the battery. So you can see now with the time remaining, because it's actually pulling off a battery, the time remaining is 2 days. We're pulling 440 watts out of the battery. So that's, the compressor is not turned on right now for some reason. It's just the fan blower. Usually you would see around 1,000 to 1,500 watts when you're running the air conditioner with the compressor turned on. So that's basically what that system looks like. So that's what you're going to see. There's not one app that shows you all of this. You have 2 apps, plus you have the Firefly app as well to be able to control the Firefly. So that is what Airstream has chosen to do with the Power Advanced package as far as apps go. I like that there is at least an app with the Xantrix, so you can see what's going on there. But the Victron also was really nice too, because you just had one place to go, and you could see everything through that system. So Advanced Power on the new 2026. All right, we're inside the cockpit. I'm sitting in the driver's seat with this leather wrapped steering wheel, new steering wheel for 2026 or 25 model year for the chassis. I do think the screen got a little bit better, and I'll show you that here in a second. Something I haven't mentioned yet, a new, for Airstream Touring Coach lineup, a new 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. They call it 2-year limited bumper-to-bumper warranty. Now standard on the 2026 model year. Not on the 25, but 2026 model year. You're getting a 2-year warranty from Airstream instead of a 1-3. It was a 1 year on components and then like a 3-year structural warranty. Now it is just a 2-year limited bumper-to-bumper warranty on all the touring coaches. And then you would still have your separate Mercedes warranty on the engine and the drivetrain and all that kind of stuff as well. Now let me flip the camera around, show you a few things about the cockpit, and I'm not going to do a full test drive on this. I can already tell you this thing test drives amazing. I've done some test drive videos in my previous Interstate videos, so go check those out. But this drives great. That's Laura texting me probably about lunch, because it's Sunday and it's time for lunch. All right, let me flip the camera around. So the new steering wheel for this year is right there, and a little bit different. So I hate to peel this off. It's always you always want the owner to be able to peel things off. But different design here. It's like one big button. See if I can get the glare to be not on it. It's like one big button, but these are touch sensitive areas. It does work through the plastic, but I can still move the screen around just basically touching this space here. You have the ability to control that screen. So this side is going to control your center cluster, and then the left side here is going to control the center console piece there. Now you have like a home button here that will take you back to your home menu. You also have a back button right there. You've got your phone call, hang up your call. You've got volume controls right here. You just literally slide your finger up and down and it will change. Just kind of cool. There is a favorites button here now, and then a Mercedes control button that will get the Mercedes assistant to pop up, voice assistant, or if you're plugged into Sirius or Google, it will have theirs pop up. So, you know, Siri or Google, so Apple or Google, this will make Siri come up and you can control your phone with that. And then over here, you're going to have your controls for your adaptive cruise control. You can turn that on and off. You can set your distance right there. You can increase or decrease your speed setting and then do your cancel or resume. And then this top section here is just going to control your center screen here, so you can change what you're seeing there. So there's a couple of different things you can see there. You've got your odometer there. You've got your tachometer there. Fuel economy is going to, or fuel gauges right there. And then you've got your temperature for the engine is down there. We'll give you things like your speed readout right there as well. Outside temperature, it's very hot today. It's 103 degrees outside according to this. I don't think it's actually that hot, but it is hot outside. You also have some flappy paddles back here, and a huge deal for 2026, 2025 chassis, 26 Airstreams, heated steering wheel now. So the switch for that is going to be right there. It's in an odd spot, but it's right here. So you can turn, I think it's like a, I guess off and on is all you get. So off and on, it shows, yeah, it shows on the center console that it's on and then off. So it's either on or off. There's not like a adjustment for how much heat you're gonna have. You can turn it on and off. But heated steering wheel, we do have heated seats. That's gonna be right there. And then you also have your seat controls. 3 memory seats is standard with Airstream. We've got a little bit of storage right there. We also have the big storage area in the door. You have lots of cup holders in here. This button here will actually shut, open, and close your side door, which I really like. A lot of times you get in, sit down, and you forget to shut that door. It's okay, you just hit that button. We do have automatic climate controls, so you can set your temperature right there, and then it will do everything it needs to do. Of course, you can control it yourself if you want to. We also have the built-in defrost for the windshield. This button here will turn that on. If you look really close, I don't think you can ever see it on camera, but there's the little lines that run through the windshield all the way across, and that will heat the windshield. And the benefit there is, if you know, North Carolina, we get these days where the windshield starts to fog up, but it's actually not hot or cold in the vehicle. It's hot, so you're trying to run the air conditioner, but the humidity creates a frosting effect to the windshield. This will kill that without having to turn the heat on and try to defrost with air. Now, let's talk a little bit about this center screen here. I do think it's improved for the 2025-26 model year because it's very responsive now. It was already responsive. It's just more responsive now with the touch. This does have a protective layer over it, which I'm not going to take off because this is a new unit that doesn't have a new owner yet. But you can easily get two things. It has navigation built in. You also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Connect your phone to it through Bluetooth and make calls that way if you want to. Of course, it is going to have the radio. It also has Sirius XM radio built in and ready to go. You can also create a favorites as well. And then, of course, you have AM, FM. It does have HD radio as well. So you get all your HD channels, which is a nice feature to have on a touring coach. If you're using your phone's media, that's going to show up right there. And then there are a host of different, I guess, or browser is the only other app that's on here. Info on the vehicle, so you can see some of your vehicle stuff that's going on. You can also see some information on your engine if you want to do that for whatever reason. It does give you your boost PSI right there if you want to be able to see that. And that's a touch screen. Nice big volume button right there. You also have physical buttons to be able to see things like your backup camera system. So you got your surround. Oh, it's so cool looking. It's got the AI kind of feel there with the little touring coach there in the middle. You also have multiple camera options now, so we're seeing the 360-degree version of the camera setup. But if you want to see the front camera, you can do that. If you want to see the backup camera, you can do that. We also, I think, see the, yep, so it will zoom into your hitch, show you the hitch, and then you can zoom back out. You also see your side view cameras. I mean, look at that. That is just incredible to show that, to be able to show that. Like, flips it around. You also have the ability to do, there's back to the 360, there we go. That position is saved, and yeah, it's just a very cool system, especially when you're backing up and stuff. And let me put this in reverse. So this is what it would look like in reverse. It's just beeping at me because park is on. So this is what it looks like in reverse. You also have the ability to do a wider view, so you can really see a lot going on back there, or this view here. But you still have the ability to change your cameras based on what you are doing. I mean, the animation is super cool with how this works now. And then of course you can go back to your 360. Look at that 360. That's incredible. The other thing I like is you've got these lines here, and you can see they move as I turn the steering wheel. So these are going to show you where your tires are going, and it's also showing you, if you look right here, where your front end is going to swing out. So if you notice, the more I turn, the more that line goes out to show you that your front end is going to hit whatever you're backing into. So very nice. I mean, this camera system is super nice. Not available on the 24-foot versions. The larger or longer chassis from Mercedes is only currently available on the 19. So if you're looking for this system, you've got to get a 19. We also are going to have physical buttons for your navigation, your telephone, radio, whatever you're doing there, and then your home button is right there. This will take you to your different functions for the vehicle itself. Lane, you can turn that on and off right there. Does have all the safety features that you expect from an Airstream, and then there's a mute button right there. Go back home. And then this is going to have all of your safety features that you expect to get in a Mercedes. So you're going to get lane departure, you're going to get collision avoidance, you're going to get adaptive cruise control. You also get blind spot. That's in the mirror itself. Has a little triangle, yellow triangle that illuminates when you've got someone in your blind spot. So this has like all of the tech that you're looking to have on a vehicle just in general. You've got it on your touring coach with the Airstream Interstate. And then last thing I want to show you is this kind of center cluster area up here. We do have a sunglass holder, just one right there. We also have an SOS button that is right there. And then you've got your different lights, door stuff, all of that right here is all there. So a very nice system. You do have a regular mirror, traditional mirror right there to be able to see what's going on behind you. But of course you also have the backup camera right there as well. So you've got cameras everywhere. All right, guys. That is the 2026 Airstream Interstate 19 GT, all new for 2026 model year. And the interior looks very similar to past years, but a new advanced power system, a awesome looking front grille and effects area there, heated steering wheel, an upgraded infotainment system. I mean, this is a well-rounded vehicle that I think checks a lot of boxes for people. And remember, for Airstream, they are always trying to be best in class. So every option, everything that they do is always in the vein of trying to be best in class for touring coaches. So rest assured, when you buy an Airstream touring coach, you're buying the best one that's out there as far as equipment goes. Is there things I do a little bit different? Yeah, sure. But I do like how they do their cabinetry. I love the new front grille. I love the 360-degree camera system. I would love for Mercedes to add that to the longer wheelbase and give that to all of the touring coaches, but at least it's on the 19, and it looks phenomenal, and it works super well, especially with the backup camera and everything. And that's only on the 19. It feels like a large minivan to drive, so this is very drivable. If you're worried about that, this is very easy to get used to. If you want to drive this around the country, go touring, go to California, go down to the Florida Keys, go to the Natural Forests, wherever you want to go, you can do that. And if you do the Advanced Power Plus, with the 17,000 kilowatt hour battery system. This thing, you could do so much with this and never run out of power. And it's just phenomenal in that sense to have that option now with Airstream. And one thing I'll say on the power system I didn't say earlier, I'll probably end up doing a video just on that. I would say the thing about this is it's simple. It's just simple to use. You hit one button, the system is turned on. You hit that button, the system is turned off. There's not multiple menus that you've got to go into. And maybe that's the reason Airstream chose to go with the Xantrex over the MultiPlus from Victron. I'm not sure. I've not been able to get an answer from them on that particular decision. But what I will say, although I would prefer the Victron, this system is very easy. I could teach anybody how to turn the inverter on and turn the inverter off. Like, that is simple. I don't have, like, there's no menus to go into. There's nothing to look at. There's no use this one, but when you're doing this, use this. It's just, do you want power? Turn it on. Do you not want power? Turn it off. Like, very simple. So I do like that about the advanced power system from Airstream. And this is new for 2026. So if you're in the market for a 2026 touring coach, a 19 or 24, give me a call. I will promise to give you the best customer service I can give you and the best price I can give you. Other than that, I hope you guys are living riveted. We'll see you down the road. Thanks. Bye.